Everyone, and welcome to my demo of Reprompt, the VS Code extension I built for the Perplexity hackathon. Now, Reprompt is a VS Code extension that assists in prompt engineering, and it turns vague, simple prompts into well-structured, context-aware system prompts that the target LLM can use to perform and get the results that the developer is looking for. So the problem that Reprompt is trying to solve is to clearly articulate the ideas in a way that the target LLM will be able to understand and respond accurately with relevant context, accuracy, consistency in terms of guidelines across team members, and making it very easy to turn vague ideas into detailed, structured prompts that yield useful AI responses. So to use Reprompt, you have to install it from the VS Code Marketplace on web or inside VS Code. Just go to the extension tab, the marketplace, and search for Reprompt. You can see I already have it installed. When you are done installing, you have a few settings that you have to work with. You go to the settings tab and then you look for extensions, scroll down and look for Reprompt. And once you see Reprompt, the first one is your Perplexity key. Permit me to hide it for now. Then you select the model you want Reprompt to use. You select the context size you want Reprompt to use, whether you want to see statistics. Do you want Reprompt to infer from your project stack? Look at your project directory and factor that into the context. And do you want Reprompt to ask you for the number of examples you want every time? So once you're done with this, you can now come to prompting. So this is a project I have. It's a backend, a Laravel backend service for a project I'm working on. It's an air quality monitoring project. So what we are going to do, you can see in the endpoint here, we don't have any endpoint for newsletters. So I'm going to, it can be any file. But it has to be a markdown file. So I'm just going to do prompt.md. So I have my file here, and now I will say create a CRUD endpoint for our monthly newsletters. So this is it, and once I'm done, I select it and I go to transform prompt. So once you do a transform prompt, Reprompt, based on the settings I have, we look at this prompt and then look at also my project directory, and then use Perplexity, the Sonar API models to transform this prompt. So you can see here, we have context over here, and the context is that create a CRUD endpoint for managing monthly newsletters in a Laravel application. You know, we didn't tell Reprompt that it was able to infer from the composer, and then it has instructions, very, very instructive on what should happen. And then it also added an example, and then it added constraint to ensure that the resultant or the target LLM will be able to produce what we are looking for. And then it also gave a format of the output that Reprompt or the target LLM should be able to produce. Now, if you look here, you can see that we have a prompt score down here. That's one of the first few things that Reprompt, first important thing that Reprompt does for you is to be able to evaluate your score in real time. So you can see over here, if I click on it, it has evaluated our score. It says that we have a context section, which we've seen. We have an instruction section. We have an example section. And we have, okay, so our prompt is also instructive. Like it gives instructions to the target LLM. So let's say I delete the examples from there. You can see automatically we are reduced down to 3/5 instead of the 4/5 that we had before. So what we can do here, another important thing, now we don't have an examples section, so I can select this and then I'll say generate examples. You know, we have 0 short, few short, 2 short, 1 short prompts. So what I want Reprompt to do is to generate for me some examples. By default, in the settings, if you remember, we say it should generate 3 examples. So what will happen is that Reprompt will now look at the prompt we currently have and then generate 3 examples to fit in. So we can see here, we have examples here. Here are 3 diverse examples. We have example 1, so it created a scenario, the approach you should take, the implementation requires technical details. So it gave us 3 examples. Now our prompt is more structured, more condensed with lots and lots of examples. If I give this to an LLM, GPT-4, GPT-4o, 03 million, there is, I expect Claude, I expect to have really, really good results. So an easier way to do this is also to test the prompt we've been able to generate against Sonar itself. So what we do, we select everything and then we say run with Sonar. So what run with Sonar will do is to basically take the prompt we have and use Sonar as the target LLM. I forgot to mention this, but while we wait, you know, we also have, for each of the prompts we generate, we get prompt transformation statistics, which tells us gives us an idea of how much our prompt has been improved in addition to the prompt score. So let's take note of that. So what is happening now is that Reprompt is taking this and feeding it to Sonar as the target LLM. So we'll see the response from Sonar very soon. Good. So this is the response that we got from Sonar. You can see over here. And the way Reprompt has been built to respond or interact with Sonar, it's as though you are building it yourself. So it helps you so that, let's say if you're working with GitHub Copilot, you can just copy all of this or Claude and paste it in there and it will generate the code for you. But with Sonar, it is more like a pair programming assistant. So you can copy this. So it tells you, okay, set up prerequisites, do this, do that, copy this code. So you can copy it, paste it there, run the instructions or run the commands, create a database model that you need. So it gives you the commands. This is what you have to do. So essentially, if you follow through, you'll be able to achieve what this particular this is supposed to be a table. You'll be able to achieve what this instruction is doing. And the good thing is that with Perplexity Sonar, we get to see where we got our data from. So these are the sources. So we get to see where the data came from. We can verify them. And of course, we know that they've invented and they are good sources for us to use. And if we don't like the response we got, we can always regenerate it. And another important thing is that for running with Sonar, we also get some statistics on what we've done, and we're able to know how much we have improved. So this is what Reprompt does currently. Thank you very much.